One single sentence from Donald Trump has shaken British politics and left Keir Starmer struggling to explain himself. What was meant to be a routine political moment suddenly turned into a public embarrassment, watched closely by media, rivals and voters alike. This wasn't just criticism, it was a revelation that caught Starmer off guard and raised serious questions about his credibility on the global stage. Keir Starmer has spent years carefully building his image. Calm, controlled and serious, he presents himself as a leader ready to govern, someone who avoids drama and sticks to discipline. For many voters, that steady image is exactly why he has been trusted to lead the opposition. But in modern politics, image can shatter in seconds. And that is exactly what happened after Donald Trump made a shocking public remark that put Starmer in an uncomfortable spotlight. Donald Trump is no longer just a former US president. He remains one of the most powerful political voices in the world. Every word he speaks is watched, shared, and debated across continents. When Trump speaks about foreign leaders, it rarely stays a private matter. His comments travel fast, shape narratives, and often cause damage before anyone has time to respond. This is why what he said about Keir Starmer instantly became news. The problem for Starmer was not just what Trump revealed, but the timing and the tone. At a moment when Starmer was trying to present himself as a serious international figure, Trump's words painted a very different picture. Instead of strength, the story turned toward weakness. Instead of leadership, questions began to rise. And once those questions are asked publicly, they are almost impossible to control. British media reacted immediately. Headlines appeared within minutes. Commentators began breaking down every detail. Political opponents saw an opening and wasted no time pushing the narrative that Starmer had been exposed. Even neutral observers started asking whether this moment showed a lack of authority or poor judgment. The damage wasn't physical, but political. And political damage can last much longer. What made this moment especially painful was the lack of preparation. Trump's revelation came without warning. There was no clear response ready. No strong counter-message, no fast correction. That silence allowed the story to grow on its own, and in politics, silence is often seen as guilt or confusion. By the time reactions started to form, the narrative was already spreading. This wasn't just about one comment or one headline. It became about trust. Can Keir Starmer stand firm under pressure? Can he handle unpredictable global figures? And can he protect Britain's image when facing leaders known for chaos and confrontation? These are the questions voters begin asking when a leader appears caught off guard. As this story continued to unfold, one thing became clear. This was not a small moment that could be ignored. It was the start of a political storm, one that would test Starmer's leadership, his communication skills, and his ability to recover from public humiliation on a global stage. The moment that changed everything came during a public appearance by Donald Trump, where he spoke freely and without restraint, as he often does. While discussing global leaders and political relationships, Trump made a statement about Keir Starmer that no one was expecting. It wasn't framed as an attack at first. Instead, it sounded like a casual remark, but its meaning was sharp and damaging. Trump revealed details that suggested Starmer had privately taken a very different position than the one he showed in public. This is where the real problem began. Politics is built on consistency. Leaders are expected to say the same thing behind closed doors as they do in front of cameras. Trump's words suggested that Starmer had said one thing publicly while quietly doing another in private discussions. Whether fully true or not, the claim alone was enough to shake confidence. In politics, perception often matters more than proof, especially in the early hours of a breaking story. Trump's tone made the situation worse. He didn't sound angry or defensive. Instead, he sounded relaxed, even amused. That tone made it appear as though he held the power in the situation. To viewers, it looked like Trump was exposing something Starmer wanted kept hidden. That sense of exposure is what turned a normal political comment into a moment of humiliation. Almost immediately, clips of Trump's statements spread across social media. Short videos, headlines, and reaction posts appeared everywhere. The key lines were repeated again and again, often without full context, making the situation look even more damaging. For many viewers, this was their first introduction to the story, and first impressions are hard to change. Political analysts quickly pointed out why this revelation mattered. If Trump's claim was accurate,